As business performance managers, we have a role to play in ensuring that people and organization perform. Everybody delivers on their assignment, on their roles. And in doing that, performance manager may go or run foul and violate some key professional ethics like integrity, like objectivity, like professional competence and his or her due care, like confidentiality, like professional behavior, and being technical about our activity. But the truth of the matter is this: as we continue to do our daily businesses, phenomenal threats will happen, and we must be able to identify them, and we must be able equally to mitigate them. So what are some of the threats that we are going to be discussing? So we have some threats, and we can categorize the self-interest of this world, self-review threats, advocacy threats, familiarity threats, intimidation. We are going to face all these various categories of threats as we continue to perform and manage businesses. So what is self-interest threats, or what are self-interest threats? Basically, when we find ourselves in a situation in which we too will benefit from what we are doing or what we are reviewing. Let's take, for example, an accountant in employment that is reviewing profitability or the efficiency of the business, or in which he or she is going to be beneficiary too. So that is a bit of self-interest. If for any reason we use inappropriately what is meant for the organization's use for our personal use, that is, we are exhibiting self-interest. We may be concerned about our job and the job security, and therefore try as much as possible to protect ourselves. In doing that, we are exhibiting self-interest. So if care is not taken, this can cloud our objective view and objectivity, and everything we are doing becomes subjective. So therefore, we will say we've been influenced by self-interest traits. The next one is self-review. An accountant or professionals in business can find themselves in a situation in which they are reviewing what they have created. So self-review threat could occur when previous judgment or our previous decision now are being reviewed by ourselves. We did the job and we just have to have a second look at it. Then we are exhibiting self-review, and it's a threat to the foundation of our core ethics as professional. It's possible too at a point that we have to take position for our organization and we have to defend the position. So we fall into advocacy threat, the threat that we call advocacy, by reason of maybe a long time being in the organization and the like. We have to come back to take a second look at what we had previously done, the position we've taken. We may fall into advocacy threat when we become more sympathetic than being objective in conducting our daily activity, especially as performance manager, due to the fact that we've been around for a while on the job, and we've known much about circumstances and things that can easily influence us, that ordinarily if we've not stayed that long, we may not be able to know. That is threats as a result of being familiar. And we'll say that the accountant has been influenced by familiarity, threats, and also the last but not the least is being intimidated or intimidation threats. So accountants and professionals in practice can find themselves in a situation in which they become intimidated, maybe as a result of losing their job, as a result of a strong man or a strong personality threatening them. The threat may not be in form of verbatim or accuse and any form of it, but when an accountant could not see his way clearly as a result of the status, maybe financial, otherwise, the knowledge, business acumen of the person he or she is working for, or he or she is reporting the performance on the job, on their role, the person is intimidated, and we say intimidation threat as setting. As performance manager, in which accountants in business and in practice can easily play the role, can fall victim of all these threats. How then can we overcome this? As performance manager, we need to equip ourselves primarily to understand, to be able to identify the threats in our environment. Primarily, we must know, like due care, we must have knowledge enough to take adequate care. And before we can take adequate care, we must recognize the threats that surrounds us. Therefore, the fundamental is accountants must ensure and identify easily what threats are. Then try as much as possible not to put ourselves in the position to be threatened. This could be done by maybe rotation, leaving the job for another that do not have the threats around them to work on that, ensuring as much as possible we do not stay too long on an assignment, on a job role, and as much as possible we try to surround ourselves with other professionals like mine that will help in circumstances. For disclosure, we need to disclose on time after we've recognized threats in delivery of our performance managerial role, and ensure that the listening here could equally contribute on how we can avoid and overcome this. These are some of the threats on performance management and how we can easily overcome them. If you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe to us, like us, comment, engage us, and we will continue to push out more videos. From GJAMES Associates, Gbenga Olatunji is my name, and I will be signing off.